Hi, this is Carl with another SOP video for managed service providers, and today we're talking about internal administrative tasks. So what does that mean? There are essentially four kinds of internal work that you do within your company. There's training, which you can sometimes say, well, I'm studying for an exam, something like that. Next, there's administrative work, which is everything from meetings to cleaning up your desk. Anything that falls into kind of the generic category. Third, there's internal tech support. So sometimes you have to manage your own stuff. That's a very small piece, but it is part of what you need to do. And then the fourth category, which is not strictly internal, is unbillable labor. Now, there's a few kinds of unbillable labor. There's good unbillable labor and bad unbillable labor. Good unbillable labor would consist of something, for example, like driving to a client's office. If you don't charge for road time, well, then you might have half an hour, 45 minutes each way that is not billed to the client, but you still have to pay that technician. You have to keep track of this time. The bad kind of unbillable labor, of course, is rework, or something that should be billable but is not. Somewhere in all of that, if you look at good, substantial labor that is not rework, but is in support of a managed service agreement, you're not going to bill for that, but you're going to put it in the ticket as being covered by managed services. So the client will not receive a separate bill. So that's a different kind of unbillable labor. It's very important that technicians keep track of all of their time between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, or whatever their work hours are. If you're paying them for 40 hours, they need to keep track of 40 hours. It's very important that you keep track of all of this unbillable or administrative tech support, because you want to make sure that you know exactly how billable everything is. You cannot run those calculations until you keep track of all of the time. Your unbillable labor will never be zero. It can't be zero. It can get small, especially if you don't have a lot of employees. But as soon as you get 4, 5, 6 employees, 10, 20, 30 employees, whatever, you're going to have a significant chunk of your time that is absolutely not billable, and it's part of your overhead. So you have to figure out what's reasonable for your company. For example, it's very common in my experience that a service manager is about 40% billable, which means 60% of their time is spent helping to run the department, coordinating service, managing employees, giving evaluations, that sort of thing. There's all kinds of things that have to be done besides just delivering billable labor. A technician who sits in a cubicle on a phone all day, never leaves the office, and does all his work remotely, well, he might be 75 or 80% billable. But even that technician is going to go to a meeting, have a training, sit down for his own evaluation, right? There's going to be time that is simply not billable. So you have to figure out what's that unbillable portion of each of your employees' labor, and then figure out what is a reasonable amount for you to calculate as overhead. Once you have this number, you can do all kinds of great calculations about the profitability of technicians and clients and contracts and so forth. You also have a really good number for evaluating how much labor you're going to have to buy in order to deliver a certain contract. Let's say that you have to deliver 50 hours of labor. Well, obviously, you have to buy more than 50 hours of labor in order to deliver 50 hours of labor. What is the number you have to buy? You can calculate that if you keep track of your unbillable labor. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Palchuk, wishing you the best of luck in your managed service business.